Three, two, one, and we are going. Hello, hello, hello. This is David Gonzo Mamano on the Gonzo Experience podcast. So excited that you're with us today. I have on the show seriously, I know I say I love everybody, but I seriously love this person. My guest today, her name is Mikki Williams. Mikki, welcome you, your shoes, your essence, your gregarious, loving, beautiful personality to the show.
David, thank you. That's quite the intro.
All right. Well, your energy, people say I have contagious energy, but we're on Zoom right now. And, I feel like I just had 3 cups of coffee talking to you the past 5 minutes in our pre-call. So Mikki, we are friends. We've known each other, I don't know, 8, 9 years, maybe. I originally met you because I went to your speaker school. And in Chicago, this was way before COVID, when we were allowed to get together in person. And, I'm remembering correctly, there was probably 12 of us in there. And it was a 2.5-day program where you not only taught us some really incredible skills on how to be a great speaker, but then there also was a great piece of speaker school that taught us how to actually make money from the business of speaking. And it was a tremendous program. So definitely want to talk about that. Now, first and foremost, during COVID, are you still doing speaker school in person, or what's going on with that?
Actually, I pivoted really fast and really well. It's been an amazing year for me. And I did it virtually. However, at the end of the year, when I evaluate everything I'm doing and going reflective and going forward, I realized I just feel it's a better experience live. I don't think any of the attendees who were there, and it was very successful. It sold out for the small groups that I always keep it at, as you said. And so I made the decision to put it off for a year. Hopefully that will be live again in 22. And of course, you know me, David, I have to replace something, and there's got to be something else. So I always had a germination of an idea for a long time called Mikki and Friends. I even had the logo and hadn't done anything with it. And that's a new thing I'm excited about. Actually, the first one starts this Friday, where I invite a friend, and I just invited you, David.
Thank you.
Everybody stay tuned for that one. So I'm kicking off the first one with Dave Nelson, who a lot of people know he's just a technology guru. And so I'll do 2 hours in the morning on speaking and storytelling and executive presence. And he'll do 2 hours in the afternoon on technology and how to really get your way looking perfect when you're working in this virtual world. And so I'll be talking about virtual world from an engagement standpoint. He'll be doing from technology. And the nice thing is you can sign up for one or both. There's no connection to do. It's just me inviting my super terrific friends to share their brilliance with a lot of my people, and they're promoting it to their people. And so it's a win-win. And I've got some great people lined up, really great. It's on my website.
Yeah, give us your website.
MikkiWilliams.com, M-I-K-K-I Williams with an
It's
S.
M-I-K-K. I want to make sure people get that K-K-I, because you're very unique, right? So.
Yes, I like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Very excited.
So Mikki, people that don't know you, and you're I'm going to say you're pretty famous. You're kind of a big deal, but people that don't know you yet, they probably know you for the past 20 plus years as one of the top professional speakers. See, I still remember how you were supposed to say it, right? Not a public speaker, a professional speaker. I learned that in speaker school. One of the top professional speakers really in the world. You're one of the few that get $25,000 and more a gig, which is so tremendous. I remember that. And you've been on the cover of Wall Street Journal for your speaking and a lot of other publications and news media outlets. So certainly want to help our Gonzo family here, because a lot of us are, small business owners in general, and would love to use speaking as at least a marketing tool, if not a business in and of itself, or anywhere in between, to create more revenue and to create more impact. So getting back, I guess, to the basics, if somebody, if you're talking to somebody that is thinking about becoming a professional speaker, right? And maybe they've done a little bit here and there, but haven't been paid for it. What are some of the first things that you would tell them to do?
It's interesting because my audience is mostly executives at this point who have to speak all the time. And I always like to differentiate by saying whether it's a professional speaker or an executive, most people think they can talk and therefore they think they can speak. And that has really been my mantra of late, to recognize that talking is just a God given human resource and speaking is a skill that I've worked at for over, 3 decades. It's like I can play tennis, doesn't mean that I'm good at it. And that's the challenge. Everybody says, "Oh, yeah, I know how to speak. I speak all the time." No, you talk all the time. In answer to your question about those who aspire to get paid or those who aspire to be professionals, you want to speak? Speak. Get very visible. Get out there every single week. The Kiwanis and Rotaries and women's garden clubs, they're all looking for the 20-minute rubber chicken lunch speaker. And it's that visibility. But while you're doing that, also make sure you have a coach or you go to like a speaker school or something that you're getting training and you're not just out there talking on a subject, but actually speaking. And it's that visibility that I believe where one day someone comes up to you at one of those luncheons and said, "How much will you pay? Charge me to speak at my company or my annual convention." So I think that's one of the things that people need to do, is to make a schedule and a commitment to booking themselves on a regular basis so they can practice the skills they're hopefully being coached on.
No, thank you for that. I know that when you mentioned when you got started in the speaker business, there was much fewer professional speakers, right? And now everybody and their mother is quote unquote a speaker, right? Is it still a viable option to just make a living from professional speaking? Because I know some people kind of mix. They do the professional speaking, but they have like business models behind it. Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's a digital marketing company. They have some other things behind the curtain that they're also kind of selling with their speaking. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that's a great question, David, because there's a lot of different components to that answer. You want to be a full time professional speaker, then you've got to devote yourself full time to learning the craft, marketing yourself, and all the aspects of becoming a full time professional speaker. You may have to work your day job or something else to support you, depending on how fast you want to ramp up. It's one of the questions that I ask people who come to me for coaching. Is this an avocation or vocation? Is this a hobby? Do you want to do it domestically, internationally? Do you want to make money? Do you want to just do it because you enjoy it? Do you have a calling? And there's so many reasons. So every time I coach someone, my approach is different based on their objectives. The executive market that I'm really entrenched in now, these are people that have to learn how to do this for their own credibility and leadership. Who's going to follow someone who goes, so, the, they need that for credibility. No, it really depends on what your end goal is. And actually, I think everybody needs speaking and storytelling skills, because no matter who you are, it's the greatest vehicle for promoting a product or service.
I agree. What is, so I know personally, but I want to hear from you. What is special about getting trained from Mikki Williams as opposed to going to Toastmasters or going to Dale Carnegie or some of the others, speaker coaches out there? What is the unique competitive advantage of working with Mikki Williams?
Now, I think Toastmasters is great, and I think it's great for practice, but it's a little bit of the blind leading the blind, because it's people who don't really know and they get a chance to practice. So I would tell my coaching clients, yes, go to your Toastmasters and practice. So definitely do that. I think the difference for me is that I've been there, done that, achieved it. Why hire a coach? And everybody's a coach these days, a speaking coach. I mean, if you look that up online and I look at credentials, for me, if I'm going to hire a coach for something that I aspire to be, I want someone who's been really successful at doing that. And for me, my uniqueness is in my skill and my credibility. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I did a TED Talk. I've achieved the distinction at the top level of my profession. I've traveled the world. So if you want to speak internationally, you want a coach who's spoken internationally. If you aspire to be in the Hall of Fame, you want somebody who's done that. If you want to be a TED speaker, you want somebody who's done that. So I think people look for coaches sometimes. I don't know whether it's geographical or cost or whatever it is, but I think you align yourself with the right coach based on what your objectives are, and if that they have that credibility. Because other than that, David, anyone can hang a sign up tomorrow. I'm a speaking coach, and they do.
That is such good advice, and really for whatever you want to do. If you want to make money in the stock market, the person that you are going to work with, like I hope they're rich, right? And if I want to be a speaker, like you're right. Like you have been there and done that. You've been, in the Wall Street Journal, you get paid 25 grand for a speech, right? You're Speaker Hall of Fame, National Speaker Association Hall of Fame. Been there and done that, like check mark of credibility off the charts. So that's a really great point because you're right. I think, listen, coaching is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but I agree with you in the fact that there's like coaching fatigue out there. You see these, 19-year-old millennials and they're a coach. Like, what are you coaching on? I mean, maybe how to be a millennial. Okay, then maybe I'll take that class. But you're right. So what I want the Gonzo family here to also know about you is that before you started becoming doing your professional speaking, which is being very entrepreneurial, but you were roll up your sleeves entrepreneur before that as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing before the speaking?
Yeah, it's an overused term, but I am indeed what you'd classify as a serial entrepreneur. I was spurred on by early tragedy in my life to have to make a living for myself and my son when my husband was tragically killed in a car accident at 29. And that was a defining moment in my life. I didn't plan to be a businesswoman. I planned to be a wife and mother and live on the white picket fence and enjoy my life. So, the old saying, when we make plans, God laughs.
Yeah.
So, I used to say, David, I didn't have a choice. I had to get up and do what I had to do for the two of us. But I learned later on, I definitely did have a choice. I could have gone on food stamps and had the biggest pity party and enjoyed it. However, I look back on it now in reflection and I'm very proud of what I've achieved. And they were all I took my natural skill set and I wound up being good at business. I was a dancer and I turned a dance studio into a multi-million-dollar business. I was a good cook and I turned my catering business into a business with one of my students, Martha Stewart, my dance students. So all the 9 business I've had, I've just come across this recently. I've been in a lot of what you might call right brain businesses, creatives, but I've always had a mindset that I still get frustrated that I see all the time that doesn't serve people. Those who are creative, oh, I don't want to do the business. I just want to cook. I just want to dance. I just want to speak. I don't want to do that. Right. I have always been a businesswoman running a dance studio, a businesswoman running a catering business, a businesswoman running a speaking business. And I find most creatives just don't think that way. And it's very challenging and frustrating to make them understand. It's learning the business first. And now look what I do. I coach CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies. What's my main career, aside from speaking, with Vistage, as you know. So my path to having all those businesses was spurred on that defining thing. And then I just learned as I went. There was no MBA. There was nothing to help me. It was just learn as you go, make lots of mistakes, learn from your mistakes, learn from your experiences. And before you know it, I looked back and went, wow, okay, here I am.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting that you don't consider yourself the business that you're in. You are a business person that is running that business at that time. And you've done it well. You've done it well. I mean, you have a natural talent. So I think the world's a better place because you've been a business person. So thank you for doing that. I remember years ago, Jack Daly, our mutual friend, and he's been a mentor of mine for 15 plus years. I had emailed him and said, "Hey, I want to become a better professional speaker." I said public speaker before I went to your school. And who should I go to? And right away, you were the only person that he said. So that's how we met. So thank you, Jack Daly. And years later, and I've done a TEDx talk, and I continue to do speaking, and I love it. And I use my speaking quote unquote talents. I certainly love a stage, but I also love interviewing people, hence this podcast. I've done a local TV show, and I just love hosting. I love hosting people and events and all that stuff. And I learned a lot from you. So thank you for that.
Oh, David, I am so proud of you. So when you came to speaker school, and all of a sudden after that, you just took off. You exploded with ideas. You went after them. You made them reality. I have, there's a word in Yiddish called kvel. Kvel. Have you ever heard that word?
I have not.
Kvell. It means to swell with pride. And I look at you and I marvel at what you've accomplished since I first met you.
You are so sweet. I'll give you 5 minutes to stop. No, I'm just this. Well, listen, I really appreciate that. I also want to talk about your chutzpah. All right. Now, I was trained to never say a woman's age, so I won't. But you will say you have been in business for a very long time, and you are not slowing down. In fact, you're first of all, you look, anybody watching this, you look fantastic. I'm not going to say your age, but you do look 20 years younger than you are. I know that for a fact. And we were joking that you and Jack Daly too, because he just continues to get better every year. There's no slowing down, and you guys got to start the aging like fine wine club or something, right? But what are some of your just health and wellness secrets on, first of all, looking fantastic, and then also just being fantastic? What can you share with us on that front?
David, thank you for that compliment. And I do get asked that a lot. And people are shocked when I share my age. And my answer is very simple. They say, oh, is it your genes or and no. So I believe it's two things that maybe sound a little crazy to most people, but I've been on herbs and vitamins for over 30 years. I take about 40 a day. I
Wow.
totally believe in functional medicine, natural health, lifestyle adjustments. So that's one part of the equation. The other part is terms of face and stuff. I'm a skin cream junkie. So I've been always doing that religiously. And lastly, which is the one that may seem a little ethereal to some people, I just believe it's my attitude. I've always had this attitude, this optimistic, and maybe people think it's Pollyanna sometimes, but I think it's served me well. And I think that's what gives me this energy. And I do. I have the energy of a 20-year-old. People always remark about my energy. So I don't have any secret sauce
Yeah.
because I've been asked so much. Those are the only answers I have.
Yeah. Well, and it also helps too. You've got, this incredible, like lion's mane of hair that looks wonderful. Always a snappy dresser, very beautiful. And the shoes, we got anybody that goes to Mikki's website, you're going to know that she's a connoisseur. How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Oh, it's so nice of you to say connoisseur when I say it's an addiction.
I was trying to be nice.
Much better, David. Last count, I was, I think, 365 or something. I don't know, 260. I don't know. I'm in my brand new home, and I have a spinning shoe carousel that people are marveling over, and it's something I always dreamt of, and I finally have it. Yeah. So if you have to have an addiction, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't curse, but I love shoes.
You love the shoes. Well, that certainly doesn't hurt your health, right? Very good.
Well, the height of some of my shoes would hurt my health.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we don't want to get you angry when you're wearing stilettos or something.
The higher the heel, the closer to God.
Right. I like that. And you just got engaged recently.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And in Italy, to the man of my dreams. I am, this should give everyone hope. I am at the happiest, most joyful stage of my entire life. I'm in my last quarter. How's that for a hint? I'm in my last.
Maybe.
I'm in my last quarter, and I have found the man of my dreams. I'm living in a brand new house we just built. I moved to gorgeous Naples from Chicago. My business is rocking. My health is great. I mean, I've never felt so blessed and grateful as I am at this stage of life. So to think that I've achieved everything I've always wanted at this point is just a miracle and a joy at the same time.
And you've done it the right way. I mean, you've done it with integrity. You've done it with honesty. You've built a very, very solid reputation for yourself as well. So, I mean, a lot of people know you, and I've never heard a negative thing. Maybe she's got too many shoes, but other than that, just kidding.
When you talk about my style and my direct, so people who call me for coaching, I always have to give them this disclaimer. Now, you know that I'm from New York originally, and the reputation of New York is. So I often say, it sounds great. I'd love to work with you, but in the spirit of transparency, I'm not the coach for everyone. I'm not going to send you flowers before I tell you you suck.
Right.
Kind of a joke and a tagline at the same time. I would
Right.
say 99% of the people that I say that to. So that's just what I need. I need someone to tell me exactly what it is and not to, Pollyanna me with the too many compliments and stuff. I need that. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a style I've developed in coaching that I think I've had in my speeches. And it's always boiled down to people saying you're so authentic. And I think that's probably just the thing that's helped fuel all my careers. I've always been who I am.
Yeah.
I've always been flamboyant and outrageous, and I've never denied it. I've stepped into it, even when it sometimes puts people off and they can't get past it to see the real me until they know that really is the real me.
Yeah.
I've just always been very comfortable. I had a mom who, at an early age, and I was raised by a single mom who just believed in me and
Yeah.
just really affirmed my individuality. I never followed a crowd because she always said, "You're different. You can be different. You don't have to smoke when all the kids are smoking,"
Yeah.
which is probably why I never did. And so she kind of fostered that in me, and I give her credit for when people interview me and ask me, where does that flamboyance or authenticity or confidence come from? And I came from my mom.
It was nourished at an early age. No, that's fantastic. I love that. And I love her strategy. I love her philosophy, I should say, because, I have 3 kids and I've said this to them so many times, and that's how it's working. They roll their eyes, right? But I've been saying since they were little kids, start to worry when you're acting like everybody else. Because I think that's disgusting. Like, you need to stand out. You need to be different. Don't go along with that crowd. When they're yin and you yang, and don't apologize for it, right? And that's exactly what you've done. And you created. I mean, it's your brand. You have an incredible personal brand, right? Like, nobody's like, what does she look like? I mean, people know exactly, who Mikki Williams is. So congratulations. I want everybody, Gonzo family here, go to Mikki's website. It's MikkiWilliams.com, and it's with KK. And learn more about her. And then really check out the Mikki and Friends. That's your really next big thing coming up, right?
Yes, it is. And yeah, it is. I'm juggling everything. As I said, my coaching business is great. My Vistage groups are full and have waiting lists. And Mikki and Friends is new, and
Yeah.
my speaking for clients. So it's a great life. I'm just enjoying it. I really am.
Excellent. You're enjoying Florida. I'm here in Rochester. It's in the 30s. We talked about, which is actually warm for January. So I'm not complaining. But you're at 77 in Naples, right? So very nice.
That's cool for Florida. So,
Oh,
yeah.
geez. Yeah.
Sorry, David.
That's all right. Are you taking visitors? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I have a long, that's one thing you learn. Curly, my fiance, said to me, when you live in Florida, you get a lot of guests. I have a waiting list that can probably occupy my guest room for the next couple of years.
Yes. All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll come down there. I'll say someplace else, and I'll just come visit. We'll hang out for a little while. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. See, it's funny. Half of my Vistage group have rented places down here for 3 months. So
Yeah.
I'm like seeing all of them, which I wouldn't normally do because we've been having our meetings virtually. So it's been great to be able to see them because they're all down here.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Well, Mikki, hey, if people want to reach out to you, go to the website, of course. Any other ways to get in contact with you?
Absolutely. Directly. Email Mikki@MikkiWilliams.com. Easy.
Very good. And they can sign up for your free newsletter, which comes out, I believe, at least once a week, right? So.
Oh, it comes out once a month. It's called Hair She Is.
Oh, yeah.
My hair. Yeah, I've been doing that newsletter for 12 years, David, and
Wow.
I'm really excited and proud of it. It's very different. We're not selling anything. As you know, it's very colorful. It's kind of a magazine format. So if you want to see my shoes of the month, you can. But if you want to read on storytelling tips, you can as well. So I think we just have a great formula. People still write and tell me they enjoy it so much. It's the only one that they don't delete.
No, I don't delete it. And I thought it came out more often than once a month.
No, what comes out in between is an e-blast about Mikki and Friends, or my calendar letting people know where I am. So yes, it's a touch point once a week, but the e-zine is only once a month.
Excellent. Well, Mikki, thank you so much. Truly appreciate your time. I know we've been trying to do this for a while. We finally got on the calendar and made it happen. So thank you for that. And I wish you continued massive success. There's no slowing down for you. You said you're on the last quarter of your life, but Listen, maybe it's the last fifth or something. I could see you going to 125. So we'll see. We'll see about that.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Excellent, Mikki. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks, David. It was a great pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Gonzo family, for listening. We appreciate you as well. Make sure to download us and subscribe and rate and review and all that good stuff. We would love that, and spread the word. Tell more people about the Gonzo experience. Wishing you all a wonderful day, and make sure to stay awesome.